How good's the Paralympics?
It's great, mate.
I mean, we're speaking before it, but I know I'm just going to enjoy it.
Yeah, and everyone's going to have that Olympic fever, and then it's going to obviously now flow onto the Paralympics because people really care now. And what I always say is watch it, not just for the inspirational stories, watch it because you'll be entertained.
Quick fact about the Paralympics. The story of the Paralympic Games began in 1948, which kind of seems too recent of memory. Knowing back to the Olympics was like Athens, Greece running nude.
Stoke Mandeville?
What?
Is that where it was? Stoke Mandeville. What have you got? So look, he did it for army people.
Okay, yes. Yeah, military hospital in the north of London.
In Stoke Mandeville. Look at me.
Okay, great. That's not even on my sheet.
Yep.
Yes, mostly for veterans.
Quickly Google.
Because
there's a Stoke Newy to it. My best mate Tim.
I've got here neurologist Sir Ludwig Gutmann.
Yeah, he started it.
Was trying to find a way to speed up the recovery of his paraplegic patients.
Yeah, I know it. Look, Stoke Mandeville Paralympics.
Stoke Mandeville, there you go.
I know because I was there. I'm actually 90.
Look it. So this episode, we're going to have 4 athletes on. Quick question about we should mention who they are. Curt McGrath on the way, Emma Booth, Heath Davidson, Madison De Rozario, superstars. What is your responsibilities for the games which are happening right now? Like, are you commentating? Are you Bruce McAvaney?
I'm not Bruce McAvaney. I'm the host of the whole thing.
Right.
So I'm throwing to all the sports. I'm the one of the main hosts.
How would you go with commentary?
It's a lot easier than hosting. Commentary's easy. I just did tennis. I do like Rafa and that all the time. You know what? Like this will be after the fact, but like I am very excited / worried at the Olympics. Like now we're going to go down to the breakdancing, and I have to know I'm the host, so I throw to the expert. But I'm like, over to you, Angus and Amelia, down at the breakdance court arena.
Yeah,
and I need to know the rules. I've got like an 81-page doc for Olympics and Paralympics. I'm obviously a bit more well versed, but. I can't wait. We'll do the next pod where you're like, mate, you actually sound like you knew what you're talking about because there's no teleprompter either.
No teleprompter?
Nah, the studios are under the Eiffel Tower. They're not big enough. No telly.
Well, we're going to see in real time because the Paralympics are happening right now, but this is an episode focusing on our athletes which are about to compete. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Let's kick off this episode.
That was lame. Just wanted to put that out there.
Okay, cheers. One of our first ever interviews, Curt McGrath.
Yeah.
He was one of our first 4.
Are we McGrathing or McGrath?
I went McGrath.
Did
you notice I know you, I'm really annoyed you picked up on it.
Because we're friends, and it changes. No, I don't think we're him, but I think it is McGrath.
I went McGrath.
Curt.
I chucked it in there if you heard it. If I didn't, I didn't. I left myself open. I thought, well done, I'm pulling me up on it.
McGrath. You left like that.
Curt McGrath.
You like McGrath?
His episode, of course, in the show notes below to check out the full thing. A veteran overseas stands on a landmine, loses his legs. But what he says next as he's getting chopped out, the Medivac, is inspirational stuff. And it actually is where we'll pick up this episode as Curt talks about his experience at the Games.
One of those things that you see it and you're like, holy shit, there's another side of sport. And I had never seen the Paralympics before that time, ever. And that's just through ignorance and naivety of growing up and not around a disabled person. Like I just didn't have that exposure. And the lads put me onto the stretcher and they're carrying me along. And I got injured just before the London Paralympics. So I got bundled up, put on the stretcher, and we're getting carried along. And we're joking about losing brand new boots and won't be able to go on holiday and whatnot. And then I was like, boys, I'll be sweet. I'll be all good, mate. Don't worry about me. I'll just go to the Paralympics. It'll be sweet. It'll be all fine. I'll just get some prosthetics and go for a blade around the track.
Turn it up! What a story!
And it's one of those things that how would I perceive that even being possible? I knew my legs weren't coming back, but I knew that what I said there in that moment might make a difference to those boys because that trauma that I was going through was not just my trauma. It was theirs too. It was my mother's trauma that was getting a knock on the door. It was my girlfriend who got a phone call at med school in New Zealand. Like it just all these people were being affected by what I was going through. But if I could say something that would maybe help them in that moment, that shit, he might be all right and he might be able to go through and come out the other side, stronger than ever. That story of what I said on the stretcher about going to the Paralympics got out pretty quick. And the chief of army came into my hospital bed just as I got back to Brizzy, and it's like, mate, I heard what you said on the stretcher, because they get a massive briefing on everything and anything that happens. And he's like, I heard what you said on the stretcher, and like, we really want to support you doing this, and you just let us know if there's anything we can do to help you and enable me to get there. And I was just like, shit, like this doesn't happen. It's like a golden ticket.
You roll into Rio. Now, you're a new disabled person, let's be honest. You're only 4 years in.
Yep.
When you walk in there and see 30,000 people with some of the craziest disabilities that you've ever seen in your life, how was that? How did you react?
It's awesome. Like, it's so amazing to see what's possible and how people adapt to their disability. There's even the poorer countries around the world, they were getting about on very rudimentary prosthetics and wheelchairs and all sorts of stuff, but they're getting it done, and they're top of their field and doing amazing athletic ability.
So at the you introduce yourself at the top as a Paralympic gold medalist. So Rio was obviously pretty successful.
Yeah, rocking up there. I'd won the World Championships that year, so it's sort of like the seeding event. And people take it seriously.
The Emmys to the Oscars.
That's right. And we rolled in there, and being a debut sport, you're not really sure how to interact with everyone. And our event's in the last part of the game, so that's good and bad. Seeing all these activities, but at the same time, you can't take your foot off the throat. You got to keep powering on and keep training and getting amongst it.
We were one of the last two to finish, kind of.
Yeah. I think we finished on the same day or something. Yeah.
So like it sucks because everyone's winning.
Yeah, everyone's on the
all
beers.
losing.
Yeah.
And then getting on the beers, and you're like, not that you want the beers,
Yeah.
but it's just the tension. Yeah, of course.
I would just swap it each games, so you get.
It did change around the schedule.
Yeah.
Imagine the bend you'd go if you won in the first day. Anyway. So you get on the water. How are you feeling?
Real nervous. Super nervous. I put a lot of effort. A lot of people had supported me. A lot of people would, committed a lot of, time and even finances to get me to where I was. And I wasn't quite aware of how much that affected me, but I was nervous because of that. And, lined up or warmed up, and I was super nervous. But then we come into this like TV zone area, and I'm not sure if you have this in tennis, but as we roll up to the start line, the cameras sort of go across each lane. This is Curt McGrath from Australia, lane 5, lane 6, Marcus Swoboda from Austria, so on and so on. And we rolled in there, and as I rolled in there, all my nerves went away, and I was like, "You beauty, I'm on here." Great. And the day before in my heat, I wasn't really listening that well because we're right under Christ Redeemer statue, Copacabana's just over the hill. Like, it's such an amazing location, Rio. And I was amongst it. I could hear my mates, on the piss at 9:30 in the morning, absolutely rocket faced and having a grand old time. And they're just having a grand old time in Rio, and getting on those Caprahinas early.
Oh, yeah,
and,
good beers.
and it was one of those things that I was like, man, this is sick. And then obviously ready, set, and I was like, oh shit, like it's time to go here. But fortunately, I had a fairly my strength is in the last part of my race, so the starts are always going to be average for me, and I'm trying to work on that this year. But getting through the first part of that heat was pretty rough, and then managed to get through to the final, whipped through that, and lined up, like I said, in the TV zone. Nerves went away. I was like, I'm on here, all right, I'm listening, I'm ready, and bang, I had a pretty good start out of my grade of start. But Marcus from Austria, he's the 6-time world champion, my main rival in the sport. Really nice guy. It's hard to hate the nice guys in the sport or compete against them, because you want them to do well too. So, but, I was having none of that. And the difference is that with your sport, Dylan, you can react to your opponent. You have to react, otherwise you'll be upclassed. And whereas my sport, you can't react. Like your 200 meters, if you're reacting in a 200 meter race, you're obviously something's gone wrong and you're not doing your race plan. And because we're in our own lane, we don't touch each other, we don't go near each other, we're just battling straight down the track, and it's all over in 41.3 seconds or something like that. And by that time, there was like a leader change twice, and it was back and forward, and it's so fast, but at the same time, it's quite a long time when you're stroking it out, and you're doing like 120, 130 strokes a minute, and you're going along, and then obviously in the end, like I said before, my strength is at the end, so I just powered through, and by the end of it, I finished like a boat and a half ahead of Marcus and the rest of the field, and when I crossed the line, I was like, yeah, sweet, like I won that, and I was like, holy crap, like that actually just happened. And I'd set out, set on the stretcher that I'd go to the Paralympics. I'd never said that I'd win a gold medal, but the obviously eye on the prize. You want to be there. You want to commit to that that degree of goal, and I'd achieved all for the people that supported me, for the guys that got wounded, the guys that didn't come home, and for me that was really important. And I thought I was going to be excited and celebratory and joy and all that sort of thing, but I didn't get any of it. It wasn't until I was on the podium that I actually felt that I'd actually done it.
Great man, odds-on favourite to win. Also, obviously, listen to the full episode. However, he actually filmed a 60-minute doco about his life on the Wide World of Sports that's coming out. Would have came out just recently. I had a little sneak peek. It's good. He's a great guy. Flag bearer he was the flag bearer for the closing in Tokyo or Rio. I mean, I won 2 gold medals, didn't lose a match, but I lost to him. Yeah. So, and hopefully, got a bit of team captain vibe about him, the whole squad, I imagine. So, I hope he does really well.
An athlete who I think has been one of the most spoken about into the lead up to the Paris Games, Madison De Rozario.
Poster child.
She's really the poster child, yeah. Of course, doing a bunch of events, including the wheelchair women's marathon. That's going to be starting.
I think she does the 15.
She does the 1500
marathon. Mads, I apologise if I cooked that, but I'm almost positive that's it.
Yeah, long endurance races. What I love is she does have that rival that's like, they're like either could win on the right day.
I think there's actually one of the cool things about the marathon is there's 7 major marathons around the world, 6 or 7. Mm-hmm. They've got pay parity with able-bodied now.
Oh, wow.
So I imagine it is professionalised the sport even more, but also more. I do know more people have pushing marathons, so I think this is going to be red hot, this comp.
Love it. Well, this is when we spoke a couple of years ago to Madison De Rozario about her experience as a Paralympian. So you were a athlete at the Paralympics at the age of 14. What would you say as a 27-year-old? What would you say going into a 4th Games? What would you say to that 14-year-old who got to stand on the dais and win a medal as well? Would there be any advice you'd go back to say to 14-year-old?
No, I would leave her to all of her devices, all of her mistakes, everything. I think that I have 2 answers to this question. On the one hand, I would like to tell 14-year-old me, any young kid, that you already have absolutely everything that you need to become the person you're going to be. It's just a matter of putting all these pieces together and working out where they fit. On the other hand, I think you don't work out where they fit unless you make every mistake that you're going to have to make. So realistically, I would just leave her to it.
Fair enough. I was actually pretty flat that Mads won a medal in Beijing, Angus, because I was 17 and I thought I was going to be the youngest medalist. And then like a day later, she's like, I'm 14 and won a medal. I was like, that's some proper BS.
It is time, Madison De Rozario, to get into the bowl of uncomfortable. This is where somebody sends us a message, a question that they wouldn't feel comfortable to say to you in person, but they can do it anonymously through our socials.
Oh, I should research on your podcast, so we're going to be on it. All right, go on.
Okay. This is for both of you.
What? Hang on. I didn't sign up for bowls for myself.
Well, I mean, you can both answer. I am disabled and I hate the Paralympics. It sets a standard 99% of people with disability will never or don't want to reach. I'm in a senior position at my accounting firm. I've worked my heart out to get here, yet I still get asked if I play sport or if I ever wanted to make the Paralympics. Do you feel part of the responsibility for the problem we face daily because you play sport?
I do not feel part of the problem, no, but I do recognize where this person is coming from. I think that our idea of disability has changed, kind of what I said earlier, where we want to put an umbrella thing over all disability. And it used to be, and it's changed that we decide is disability. It's kind of come from not being able to participate in society or employment or be valued members of community. And it's taken this massive jump to elite sport and it's missed everything in the middle. The reality is, obviously, disability exists on a spectrum. What we're now doing with disability is demanding excellence in order to be accepted. And sport does play a role in that, because what we see of disability, like I think we both are fully aware, is mostly sport. It's our athletes that we do see with the brightest spotlight being shone on them. And I do agree that's a problem. I want kids with disabilities to see Paralympic sport and not think, oh, I can be an athlete. This is a bunch of people doing anything and everything they want to do. They're completely reclaiming their identity and doing anything that they choose to do. And that's going to look so different for every single person. And I think we need to embrace that a lot more than we do. And I agree. We definitely have changed our idea of disability. It's evolving in a really positive direction, but it's probably missed quite a few really important steps.
100%. And that person has every right to be a bit peed off about it. Imagine not playing sport and someone from work coming and go, so have you tried any Paralympics or you tried sports? Like, I don't like sport. Like, you know what I mean? And I think and you nailed it, and I can't really add anything because that was perfect, but like, you're on TV because of sport with a disability, or the inspirational porn, sob story, raising money for your wheelchair, I'm sick in hospital. That's the only thing times you used to get on TV with a disability, or probably still. And that sucks, right? We need more artists, musicians, accountants, lawyers, TV presenters, mums, school teachers, politicians with disability in the mainstream. So then it's not just people with sport. And that is my hope, your hope. You know, that's all we want, because I couldn't agree more. That would be punishing if everybody says, oh, you're in a wheelchair. Do you know Dylan Alcott, or do you know Madison De Rozario? Just because you're in a wheelchair. It's like, why would I know that person? You know what I mean? And so I fully appreciate that. And that's something that I sometimes do feel bad about. And I want there to be hundreds of thousands of names of people with disability that people know, not just a select few. And people write tweets to us saying, oh, you flogs always get in the limelight. Like we want that. You know, we don't want that. We want to share that. We want more people with disability to get out there, because, you know, not everyone has the opportunity to be a Paralympian or play sport, but they have an opportunity to their own career, but they aren't getting those opportunities in their own career because they're not provided. So it's up to all of us to keep smashing that glass ceiling so people can get out there. But hopefully they watch in Tokyo and we change their mind. What do you reckon? Hey, give us a chance. We're nice, I promise.
Up next, the guy you are super familiar with, I love, Heater.
Who's that?
Heath Davidson.
Big Heater.
The big Heater. Found his partner through Listen Able.
Eden slid into his DMs from Listen Able.
How good's that?
And now they are happily traveling the world together.
Mm-hmm.
She's a great person.
Is he our number one now that you're out?
Yeah. I think he's number 6 in the world.
Good on you, Heath.
On your Heater.
Wishing you all the best. But this was, apart from the story, his story was so vulnerable and amazing.
First time he actually talked openly about his life.
Yeah. And he speaks about drug addiction and, you know, his
Parents,
difficult childhood. Some really amazing insights into his life. Full episode in the show notes. But his experience of winning gold with the guy sitting to my left, Dylan Alcott.
Believe it or not, like, people, one of the things that I get asked the most was, how good was it winning a gold medal? Was that the highlight of your Paralympics? And my answer is, it was cool, but it wasn't the highlight. I had 2 other highlights.
Was it the free Maccas?
Definitely the free Maccas. That's number 1.
He came to
mate, it was pizza and McDonald's for me for 2
weeks.
weeks.
Seen it. He was losing it.
Paralympics was the first time I beat a guy inside the top 10 in the singles. Brian Barton, I managed to get over in my first round of the singles, which was really cool. Did it in 3 sets. So they're probably obviously the free Maccas, and that is probably my highlight. Obviously, not taking anything away from winning a gold medal. But it wasn't until I got home that I realised what I'd accomplished or whatever. Like, Dylan had obviously done it before in the basketball and stuff, so he sort of knew. And for me, it was just sort of like a massive whirlwind and a roller coaster, man. I wasn't supposed to be there, and we just so happened to beat a team that had never been beaten in the Paralympics before. So,
well, we weren't going to beat them at one point. We were down 6-1, 5-1, 30-love. So if you know tennis,
I think you actually said to me.
Oh, well, I'm like, this is embarrassing.
Like, where's the closest pub?
We were live on Channel 7 as well the first time. And because of the time difference, it was like 9 a.m. And
we got pushed, remember? And
pushed on to during sunrise. So everyone was watching.
I know.
And
crazy.
We were playing so bad. What was going through your head when you were playing tennis at the Paralympics, in particular in that moment?
Honestly, at that point in time, I'm just like, God, why? How did we get all the way here? And then I've decided to play some of the most garbage tennis that I've ever played in my life.
I wasn't going much better. Don't worry about
it. We were both pretty average. And then Dylan actually said to me at 30 Love, he's just like, let's just play tennis. We weren't having fun. And that's what I think why we're such good doubles partners, because we're best mates. We have fun out there. We joke, we banter, and we weren't doing any of that. And then it sort of just, we ended up winning that game. And then I think we won the next, what did we win the second set? I think we won the second set 6.
We won that game. Well, it was actually 6-1, 4-1. We won 6-4. And then I was about to absolutely piss my pants. I had to piss so bad. I took a toilet break, lost all our momentum, down 4-love in the deciding set. And then we ended up winning that 7-5 in the third set.
It was 4-all, and I hadn't made a serve all game.
Right.
4-all, third set.
And I said this. I was like, mate, I got complete confidence in you. 4 first serves here. And then I turned around and I thought, 4 double faults coming up. It's going to be tough.
Mate,
I was like,
legit.
The pressure at 4-all, I was like, he's going to serve the worst game I've ever seen.
I served 2 aces.
2 aces, 2 big serves. I couldn't believe it. I was shocked.
Turned it on when it counted.
Yeah, I mean, we managed to get through that one, and then match point was still unbelievable. I mean, it just, the final shot that Dylan hit, as the ball was coming over the net, Dylan looked back at me and said, "We've just won a gold medal," and then hit a winner. And like,
Dylan,
he is the biggest
looking at me
flog.
with the smuggest.
I said
look at me shaking his
we've
head.
done it.
Yeah, we've done it.
Oh, so you haven't hit the ball
No,
yet?
But it was like, I could have hit over with I could have kicked it.
Right, so it was like a volley right in front of you.
Boom.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, we've done it. Like, shock.
Yeah.
I was talking to myself as well.
Yeah.
And then I went bang. And then we turned
Angus,
around.
that is a lie. He looked directly at me, and he's like,
Well,
"We've
I was
done
like a
it."
little shit to Gavin.
Actually, I was like this. I was going to say, do you want it? And I looked and Heath's 50 metres away on the fence, like shaking his nerves.
So,
and then you were saying before about what happened afterwards.
yeah, so apparently today I jumped on Instagram, and the ITF had,
International Tennis Federation?
yeah, they posted a post about the most famous hugs in tennis, and Dylan and myself made the top 5.
Hey!
We almost tipped each other out of our chairs. It was
Yeah,
That's
I don't think I've
awesome.
ever wanted to pash a bloke so much in my whole life. So
yeah, it was
Pretty
amazing. And the times in Rio afterwards was very good as well. We had a great time. And I mean, are you,
we went missing for like 18 hours. We had fun.
as we should,
I remember once that episode had finished, going back and watching that full match of the gold medalist. Because like you're talking about, we shouldn't have won it. We were down by so much, and the comeback's just so much better after hearing that story.
yeah, it's great.
And finally, Emma Booth is up next. Emma Booth, of course, para dressage. I think the piece that I found really, really interesting about Emma was exactly what you were alluding to, that connection with the horse. And I remember going home and speaking to my partner, Emily, when she was like, "Oh, who did you interview today?" And I was like, "Oh, Emma Booth. She does para dressage." And Em knows that how important the knees are and the connect, gripping the horse with your legs.
I thought you meant
And
the
she's
horse's knees. I was like, they are important.
they are
Emma's. Yeah.
vital.
Yeah.
No, well, it's not important. I described.
Are you ruining the episode here, or is this not in it?
No, I didn't say it in the episode.
Oh, okay.
I described it as leaving the episode of the connection between avatars and their flying things. Do you know how their hair is intertwined? Because that's the way like Emma sort of describes her connection with horses. Have you not seen with Avatar when they hop onto those flying things and they connect their hair to the...
Let's go to the episode. This is Emma Booth.
What I want to know about the horses, sorry, I need to know while we're still on it. What is the differences between para dressage and equestrian riding versus like what are the with the horse? What's that connection different with? Because you can't kick the heels of the horse or something like that. You know?
Yeah, so I think for particularly para dressage in lower grades, so my grade and grades 1 and 2.
Lower grade meaning high level disability.
Yes. Yep. More.
Look at me.
More severely disability.
Look at me, I'm all over it.
Yep.
Well, I was
Go
watching
on.
in the village, watching you. So now I know. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they, as the horses, have to have a little bit more of an understanding. For example, I don't have the use of my lower leg, and that's in everybody dressage, how you tell the horse to go forward, how you tell them to move to the side, how you get, now I'm getting technical, but bend, flexion, all that sort of stuff.
Dance, like not dance,
Yeah.
but
And it's pressure as well of the leg against the horse.
To really connect the horse, the leg is what connects them into the contact.
So how do you do it without legs?
So how you do it without legs is one, having a horse that's really willing to work with you, that's really willing to try. But for me, I have to train them sort of more to voice commands. So
Oh wow.
Do you whisper in?
not really.
You do.
No, I do weird noises like little and clicks and like he'll know the difference between my one click, which now I don't have water in my mouth.
Go
so
on, have a go.
the one click, that's just to go a little bit more forward within the rhythm or within the pace. But then if I do a few short, sharper clicks, that's to go up a gear. So from walk to trot.
How do you know how they do, you and the horse, do like one leg and different legs at a time? How do you communicate that? Like left or right?
Yeah, so that's
Not just
again
walking, but like actual, I don't say dancing, but
prancing,
or like the double leg.
Or as Snoop Dogg called it, crip walking.
Yeah. To be honest, and I get this question a lot, I ride with two whips that are sort of a compensating aid for my leg. So in the need where you'd normally put your leg on, I might just do a light little touch with the whip.
Or you could use your arms, couldn't you too? No,
Sorry?
Could you use your arms as well? Or you're holding on to...
No, the arms are there for the reins.
Shut up,
Yeah,
Bill.
shut up.
Shut up,
Keep that to yourself.
Shut up.
It's like, at that moment, Dill was like you were going to go,
Oh,
I could be using my
why haven't I
arms.
thought of that
Mate,
before?
I didn't ride
Why
for
am I clicking with my mouth? Like, use my
Use my arms.
And Dylan was going to be like, "Gah."
I used to ride
No.
ponies riding for the disabled.
You
That's what it's
did.
called.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You know, riding for the disabled?
Yeah, yeah.
It's actually awesome. They
Yeah.
do a great ride across the
No,
country.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
I was just actually down at the Pakenham RDA. They've just opened up a new arena there through, VRC sponsored their new arena. So that was amazing.
There you go.
But yeah, no, the communicating, it's education, teaching the horse what you want to do. But sometimes people would ask, oh, well, how do you do, a leg yield or this with Zidane? And I'd sometimes be like, honestly, I feel like, and this is where you guys are going to roll your eyes and be like, this bitch is crazy. I would just think something, like I would just be going, right, well, now I want to, and this isn't in my test, but now I want to canter or now I want to change, do a flying change and just almost think it. My body might just change slightly in the saddle and he would be like, yeah, I got this. Like it sounds really
Confirmed.
corny.
Sus on that.
Yeah,
Is it-
no,
what's that-
but it is. You've
What's
got
that
to have
TV show?
this.
The Wild Thornberrys, where she can talk to animals? That's what I'm thinking about.
Okay. Very 90s,
Yeah, that's a
2000s
great
reference.
reference.
No, I think this is not the same example, but why I agree with, I can understand the connection of mind with something that isn't your body.
Oh, here he is, the dog whisperer. Watch this.
Well, no, if I, hey,
There he
Winston,
is.
you thinking about lunch? My golden retriever's like, oh, fuck you, Dad. Always, I'm right.
Yeah.
No, I remember watching, snowboarding is like subtle, like it's like you move your eyes and your
Yes.
body, and like the
See?
snowboard goes. That was my only reference. Like it's not, I thought when you turn on a snowboard, you go, but it's not, it's all about slight movements of your neck or your eyes.
Yeah, I think you're taught, well, as a rider from a young age, like, your eyes, you're always looking where you're wanting to go. You're looking where, and it's the slightest, the thing with dressage, it's so intricate. So, you say something about, oh, well, can't you use your hands? The hands are there to communicate with the bit, which is in the horse's mouth. That's what keeps the contact, and that's what judges are looking for, the horse to be really steady and still in the contact. But yeah, the slightest shift or change in your weight is what communicates with the horse. And I think another funny thing about equestrian, and now we're just making this whole like horse podcast, so I apologize.
No, because it's para equestrian.
well-
It's interesting. And dressage, sorry.
We can talk tennis if you want.
But you often
Please
get the people going, oh, but well, you just sit there and do nothing, especially in able-bodied dressage. Like, oh, you don't do anything, the horse does all the work. And you're like, actually, thank you. That's a compliment, because if it looks like, the less it looks like you're doing, the better job you're doing.
Same as car drivers. Like, oh, it's just because you got a good car. It's like, well, no, they're driving the car.
And that wraps up our Paralympics coverage. I've just touched my ear as in I was throwing back to something.
Yep. Good.
Well, you'll be heading. What are you going to? You having a holiday after your Paris trip?
I'm having a small 12-day holiday in the middle because it's 2.5 weeks.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, or 2 weeks. It's exactly 16 days in between.
I had no idea about that. So they keep the infrastructure up for so long for these events.
Mate, they sell these places.
Mhm.
They sell the houses and stuff.
What do you mean?
The village they build and then people live in it after.
Oh, yeah. No, but I meant like, for road events or for just the
Oh, no, they
infrastructure.
open the roads up, but all their stadiums, it's cooked afterwards.
Mm.
You got to clean the city, like, imagine Olympians winning gold. They just absolutely destroy those apartments.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good on you.
We loved it.
I turned up. I remember when I won gold in Tokyo, the singles gold. I woke up naked, with just wearing my gold in my room by myself, but with vomit next to my bed, and I just rolled straight into the interview like toasty as. And they were like, "You a bit toasty?" I was like, "I just want a gold medal. You got to lean in."
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What a place to do it. If you can bring back some, Chateau Lafite or some DRC from French wine for me, that would be much
Pret
appreciated.
a manger sandwich.
Okay. That which is the 7-Eleven of sandwiches over there. Thank you for your
Pret a manger.
generosity.
Big fan of the podcast,
Give
actually.
us a sponsor.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for listening the last couple of weeks. Congratulations more so to our Paralympic athletes. We are very proud of you. Dill, hope you had
Thanks,
a great 9 weeks over in Paris doing both the Olympics and the Paralympics. Sure you smashed it. Normal programming in just a couple of weeks' time. So make sure you subscribe and the full episode's in the show notes.
Can I just say to our producer, Mills, and you, great idea. That was a really good idea. I enjoyed these
Good on you,
episodes.
Mills.
And Winston.
Winston, our dog, or my dog is here.
Our dog. We're dating.